Hey guys, it's Ryan. I wanted to make this video today in response to my last video that I made. I want to clarify some things that I said, and I guess what I'm really trying to say is my video was received very well, actually, by the majority of my viewers. Okay. The vast majority of them understood what I was saying. They got it. They knew what I meant. But there were a few people who seemed to misconstrue what I was trying to convey. And I want to take some time and talk about a few things that I said and maybe give you guys a better insight on where I'm coming from. Okay. Firstly, I want to talk about the experiences that I'm having right now, okay? I want to tell everybody about everything that's going on. But when you have things like this that begin happening, you tend to, your individual subjective reality tends to change a little bit, okay? It's kind of like when you're a kid and you are taught that, I mean, you actually not taught, but you, like say you're reading a book, like a fairy tale or something like that, and you know that this stuff isn't real, that you're reading, or that your mom's reading to you or whatever, or that you're watching on a movie or whatever the case may be, but you know that stuff's not real, okay? And then say you fast forward to, say I'm in my 30s. So say, you're 30 something years old. And all of a sudden you find out that something that people, that people largely claim to be a myth is actually real. Okay? You've seen it with your own two eyes and you know you're not fooling yourself. And then you see it more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, and things like that. You change the way you think, okay? You begin to realize that everything that you thought was false may not be, okay? And that's a profound thing for someone to go through. And anybody who has seen the Sasquatch and know what's going on with them will tell you the same thing, okay? It's a profound thing to go through. And I'll kind of go through the course of events when you start doing stuff like I'm doing, okay? I'm not talking about like the interactions and things specifically. What I'm talking about is, say, all right, you start seeing structures and things like that around you, and then you're like, okay, I see all this stuff and it's so cool and it's so neat and I'm so into it and I'm like getting excited about it, and it's like finally I'm finding this stuff on my own, and you're like so interested in it, okay? Then you start to realize that these things are everywhere, okay? And you're like, well, how are these things all over the place like this and I've never known about them, okay? So then you start to think about things and you start wondering and your mind starts going and things get a little less exciting and a little more realistic, okay? When that happens, you start to realize that this stuff goes so far past what you thought it did. Okay, you get out there and you start going into these places where the Sasquatch actually are. Okay, whether you can see them or not, they're there. They're very well hidden. Okay, and when you go out there and you spend enough time doing it, you start realizing, experiencing things that are beyond anything you can explain. Okay? Things happen that just blow your mind. And you're like, okay, how in the world is this stuff happening? And you start to realize that everything is a little more serious. Okay? It all gets a little more serious. And you're like, okay, all this stuff's happening. Now I'm not sure what to think about any of it. And I don't know if anybody else would really think about or really accept what I'm saying. They may condemn me for it and all that stuff. And I've never really worried that much about that, honestly. But it's more along the lines of you have to come to terms with it yourself. Okay, you have to understand that it's reality and these things are happening and you don't know what to think about them. Alright? It changes you. It changes the way you perceive things. It changes your reality. Okay? When that happens, you come to a turning point and you're like, alright, I need to assess what I'm doing. I need to take some time and think about if I want to go any further with it. Because you get to a point where you're here, okay, then you go to these, you start having these experiences. Then it's almost like a line you have to cross. You have to decide whether you want to go further into that rabbit hole or you want to just stop and revert to the way your life was prior to all of it. Okay, just forget about it all, drop it all, go back to living like you were. Okay, that's the point you come to when you get serious about this stuff and you spend enough time out there and you realize these things. That's the point you come to. Alright, like I came to that point a while back and I didn't make a video for it was probably like a month and a half or something. Like I took a little break because my reality had been spun around. Like I just didn't know what to think about it. And I had to decide whether I wanted to continue on investigating this stuff and trying to figure it out, and knowing that if I did that I would have more experiences that I couldn't explain and things like that. And I had to decide whether that was the route I wanted to take or if I wanted to go back to just living like I did before, you know, just thinking about all this stuff but not going out and finding it and stuff like that, if that makes sense. Okay, so anyway, you get to that point and I decided to go the route of figuring it all out again and like continuing on and trying to figure it all out. And once I did that, okay, things got more profound. They got more intense. And I had to, and I was prepared for it. I knew that would happen if I kept going. And you really start to wonder, okay, about these things, about these beings. And you wonder what else is out there and what else is real that you didn't think was real prior to any of this. So you keep going and keep going with it. And eventually, if you're the type of person who has the patience and has the understanding and has love in their heart and has a peaceful way about them, they're going to pick up on that and they are going to open up to you. Okay? Now, I'm not the only person who has ever interacted with them. Okay, and like I said in my video, okay, I used Mike, my friend Mike, as an example, okay, of someone else who has gone through this stuff. And I network with several other researchers or investigators, however you want to put it. I know people are getting down on that researching term, and I don't understand why, really, because if you study something extensively, you're researching it. So You can be a researcher whether you have a name tag that says that or not. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to get into semantics and stuff, but anyway, all these other people that I know, and they're great people. They really are. They're down to earth people. They're not people that just are out there, on some kind of like mental breakdown trying to figure this stuff out or whatever. These are normal people, man. They have jobs, they have lives, they have families, they have, homes. I mean, it's not like it's just some kind of crazy group of people that go out and do this. The crazy ones don't typically get too far. But all these other people, they come to this point too. And I've talked to them about it. Like, we've all talked about it. We understand how it is out there. And how crazy it gets. And how you have to assess it, But I'm not the only one that this stuff has happened to. I'm not even close to the only one. I know other people who don't put any of it up on the internet or whatever, or videotape, record it at all, I know people who have gotten higher levels of interaction than I've ever experienced, okay? And I wasn't saying that I'm just like some kind of chosen one, some kind of guru about this. I've never ever taken that stance with my channel. Like, I'm not the best at it. I'm not like awesome at it. I just happen to have a good situation to do this stuff. And I feel like if I don't use it, I'm wasting something. I'm wasting an opportunity that I have. Okay? That's why I do this, and that's why I chose to continue doing this after everything got to the point where I had to really think about it, That's what I was saying, really. I'm not like some kind of amazing person with all this stuff, and I never tried to be. I just tried to be someone who helped us understand things, and that's what I'm going to continue to be. Okay? Now, as far as sharing my experience goes, I will share what I've experienced. Now, I do have some things that I'm extremely reluctant to show people because of the nature of the activity. And it's not like I'm just withholding it to be a secretive person or whatnot, but I'm withholding it because I am personally not ready for that. Okay? That's what all this amounts to. It's all individual and it's all subjective. It's all the person, okay? It depends on the person doing this, okay? I'm not ready to really talk about a lot of these things. I'm not ready for all of that because I'm still wrapping my mind around it. I'm still trying to let it sink in because it is profound. It is something that shakes your whole perception of things. Okay? And it doesn't happen to everyone who does this. I know that because not everyone has the patience and the understanding and the need, I guess, to know this stuff. Okay? And know it on the level that you wind up knowing it on. But those that do have to have some time to let it sink in, because it's not just something that is normal, Anyway, I wanted to clarify that. Okay, I never said I was the only one having these experiences, and I never said my friend Mike was the only one having these experiences. And I don't know where people got that. I don't even think I alluded to that when I was saying what I said. Anyway, everything I said was my opinions anyway. I don't know why anyone would take it as gospel because, man, I'm just a dude. I'm not anything special, really. I mean, like, I'm not like somebody who's an authority on anything or whatever. I just have opinions like everybody else, and I have an outlet to express them, like it or not. That's your prerogative. But all I want to say is I didn't mean anything negative by what I said, really. I was talking about all these new channels, and the only thing that I said about those things, about the new channels and this whole influx of people doing this, the only thing I ever said about that was I didn't understand where they were going with it. I couldn't figure out what purpose they were trying to serve by doing all this, other than maybe just following other people that were doing it and thinking they can all do it too. And they can, but they have to understand that there is a certain way that you have to present yourself to them. Okay, that's a respectful approach. That's the way to do it. And I will stand by that statement until the day I die, because that is the way to do it. The only way. All right? And you won't get far. You won't get very far with them if you don't exercise that approach. It's just it's a matter of opening yourself up, humbling yourself, getting rid of your human superego, and practicing some patience. Okay? I can't stress that enough, man. Patience is the key. It's not going to happen right away. Okay? It took over a year and like, I guess 4 months, 5 months, for me to even get to where I'm at now. Okay? And I have the ability to do this every day. Okay? They're in these woods right here behind me. All right? They are all over the place. I saw one 2 nights ago. Okay? They're everywhere out here. And it's not just out here though. I mean, they're all over the place, in this region. I find stuff everywhere. Like, I drive down the interstate and I see stuff off in the woods off the side of the road. And I made that video, that X that was made with those bent trees. Massive X. And I saw that right off the side of the road going to my son's school to pick him up. That's the thing. You will find this stuff everywhere. But you have to dedicate yourself to going out there and seeing it all the time and getting them used to your presence. Okay? If you don't do that, they're not going to warm up to you. They're not going to accept you there. That's what you have to do. And that's what I've worked on. I've worked extensively. And I said in the other video, I don't go out with a camera all the time. Matter of fact, I don't go out with the camera the majority of the time. I go out there myself, and sometimes the only other thing I'll take with me is like a guitar or something like that. And I play music with them, for them a lot. And that helps a whole lot too. They love that. So, even if you're not a musician, just go out there and tap a rhythm on a block or something. They'll like it. They enjoy that. And if you're doing it and you tell them you're doing it for them, they will appreciate it. So anyway, that's just kind of what I do. And I wanted people to know that. I'm not trying to come down on anybody for this, and I'd really like it if all the people that were doing this took it seriously and actually tried to get to a point where they could actually help us understand and help us learn, because that is the ultimate goal with all of this. That's my ultimate goal anyway, and it should be the ultimate goal for most people. And what I said about not being the one to prove things and stuff like that, I don't want to be the one to prove it. I don't want to be the one to bring it to the forefront of the media and stuff like that. Man, I would feel really bad about myself if I did that, actually, because I know they don't want that. And something walking around over there. And anyway, it's not it's not my goal. It's not what I set out to do. So, you know, like me, hate me, whatever, man. I'm doing this for one reason, and that is to help us all understand them. That is to find out the truth about what these beings really are. That's my goal. That's what I do. All right? And I have a lot of viewers, and I've established my channel in a way that I go out and I look around the woods and stuff like that. And I do that just in case they want to show themselves on camera. If they do, they choose that. They know I have a camera. I tell them when I'm recording, before I begin. I tell them I'm about to start this camera. And it's really cut down on them turning my camera off, for one thing. And it lets them know that, you know, I'm looking around with this thing, and if they want to show themselves, they can. If they don't, they won't. But I like to do that because I know that not everyone can get out in the woods. I know that not everyone has the opportunity to do this stuff. And I kind of like to create a vicarious experience for my viewers, because they know that the Sasquatch are out here, okay? They know that. And one of these days, they may show themselves. And if they do, then my viewers will get to see them. But I'm not out there recording the woods for the purpose of showing them. Okay, I record structures and things like that. And the times that they have shown up on camera are the times that I've just been out looking around and recording their structures and their creations and things like that. Okay, I just want everyone to understand where I'm coming from. That's really all I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, I really didn't think I said anything that negative in my other video, and like about 150 other people that liked my video didn't think so either, and the vast majority of the comments I got were positive. People understand what I'm saying. They know where I'm coming from, and there's just a select few of people that didn't understand or took it the wrong way or whatever, and I'm sorry if that's the way you took it, but you know, this is how I feel, and it doesn't change. I'm not changing it, you know, due to what anyone says. You know, I'm not going back on anything I said. I meant everything I said, and wouldn't have said it if I didn't. I don't just talk for no reason. You know. Anyway, you know, I'm sorry if people didn't like it. Some people didn't like it. And I really appreciate all the support that came from the majority of the 3,000 people who have watched the video now. I really appreciate it so much, man. You guys support me and encourage me. And that's what it requires to keep going. And, you know, during those times where I've wondered if I needed to stop doing this and if I was getting a little too deep into it and stuff like that, you guys are the ones that helped me keep going. You're the ones that inspired me to get back out there and keep doing this. And for that, I'm just completely grateful. So anyway, I will share the things that I've experienced in time. Okay? Right now, it's hard for me to comprehend, so I know it'd be hard for other people to really understand. But I will talk about them. I'm just not ready yet. And that's all I can say about it. But I will be going out and making my videos just like I typically do, because I enjoy it, for one thing. It does interest me greatly to see all these structures and all the things new things that are built and the things they've done and all that. I mean, it's just so neat to me. And I will always continue to do that. And that's really all I wanted to say about it. You know, I'm not changing anything. But I just wanted everybody to know that things have started changing for me with them. You know, that was my whole reason, really, for even mentioning it. Because there's a lot to know about them, a whole lot to know about them, a lot more than I can tell you. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, what all there is to them. But, you know, this stuff's real, man, and it's serious. And there's a reason that they're out there reaching out to people. There's a reason that they're out there in more urban areas now. There's a reason for all this stuff that's happening. And, you know, that's another thing that I try to look at and try to figure out why it's happening. But anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I probably left out some things or whatever, but, you know, I just want everybody to know that I'm in this for truth, for understanding, and I'm advocating for the Sasquatch. I want to see them safe and unharmed, and I want them to live their lives like they always have.